Hey everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Hey everyone, welcome to Product Placement, my series with Kelly Oblak, where we take one specific type of embellishment and feature it in our layouts. We have been doing this since January and we're coming up on December, and Kelly's like, well, I know it's not really an embellishment, but we all have it, so why don't we do paper scraps? And I was like, oh, that's a fantastic idea, because I happen to have a set of paper scraps all ready to go. So back in October, circumstances conglomerated, which is probably not the right word, but I'm tired, to have me end up going to a crop right before I had already planned to go to another crop. And basically it was FOMO for me, fear of missing out. A couple of my friends were going to be at a crop in a town close-ish to where I live, and I was like, I want to go too. But I knew I wasn't going to want to do a weekend of layouts and then 2 weekends later do another weekend of layouts. So what I did instead were a couple of people I know through Facebook, and now I've actually met one in real life, were having online close to my heart parties. So I bought what they call their card kits. So basically what you get is a stamp set and then enough paper and a little bit of embellishments to do 6 cards, but 2 different sets of cards. So you get to make 12 cards altogether. They include the envelopes and the card bases, plus what you need to make it, plus a step-by-step guide of how to make it, which was nice because I didn't then have to think about it. I could listen to my friends talk, I could participate in conversations and stuff like that, and all I was basically doing was cutting things apart and gluing them down. It was absolutely perfect for what I wanted for that weekend. So these were the cards that I made. So I made 6 of this one and 6 of this one. So these are all, like, they're all made. I just have to, send them out when I want to send them out. And when I was finished with it, I was like, wow, these are quite a bit of leftovers here. I've got some pattern paper, I've got some cardstock, there are these bronze sequins that came with it, and I have this photo. So while I was there, not only was I working on cards, I was working on finishing up a couple of mini album projects that I had put together and done the journaling for, but I had never actually finished them. One of which was a week in the life photo. So I had printed this both at 3x4 and 4x6. I ended up using the 3x4. I'm sorry, I said week in the life photo. I meant week in the life album, obviously. So I had printed this photo off at 3x4 and 4x6. I used the 3x4 in my week in the life album, but I thought, you know what, this is actually a really cute photo. I know I've probably done 10 layouts of me cuddling with Xanthi, but I like them and they're so sweet. So I thought this really goes quite well with this color palette, so I think I'm going to go ahead and put this in with these scraps. I added a piece of white cardstock, and I had just said, I'm going to go ahead and do this layout. And then Kelly texted me, and she's like, why don't we do paper scraps? I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the perfect layout to go ahead and do that. So I think I might even pull the stamp set in here. Probably not the words, because Xanthi doesn't necessarily show kindness. Oh, but I could do always in my heart and on my mind, because she's a cutie. She's a goofball, and she's annoying as heck, but I love her. All right, so I just did a real-time video. It is Thanksgiving morning, and so you guys would have seen that just a few days ago if you watched it. And so I'm starting, I'm going to do another real-time video. I'm not. This is going to be fast-forwarded and voiced over. So I'm going to go ahead, get you put on fast-forward. Before I do, make sure you head on over to Kelly's channel. I will put a link in the description box below with a link to her video. So, all right, folks, let's get going.
Okay, everyone, just so you are aware, this is going up very, very late. I've been having a problem with my editing program and the voiceover not working, so had to do a couple of uninstalls and reinstalls and contacting and blah, blah, blah of the company. So everything seems to be working now. I will give you a little spoiler alert. I forget all about using that stamp set, so it's going to be very, very basic simple layout here using the leftovers and paper scraps I had in this preset kit, pretty much except for this trim I'm making right here of this piece of all of the close to my heart cardstock is two-toned. It's a darker tone on one side and a lighter tone on the other side. Other than that cut, everything else I pretty much leave the exact size it was in the kit I had the leftovers with. Oh, Xanthi ate my ATG, so I had to refix it. I did pull another piece of white cardstock into this and I matted my photo with it. But after that, it's pretty much the way it is. I find with paper scraps, just by working with what you have, the sizes and everything, you can usually come to a configuration where it works out looking pretty nice. So you'll see here the only thing I changed was that one piece of cardstock, and then I'm going to add another smaller scrap in once I start getting everything laid down. Now I am going to go ahead and ink up all of the pieces with this Hickory Smoke Distress ink before I start gluing them together. So since I'm doing this far behind when Kelly already put hers up and I've already watched her video, if you watched her video, you'll see what she did is she went through a scrap bin and she pulled out different pieces that she thought would work. So that's basically the other way you can work with scraps. So if you store them by color or if you just kind of make a whole scrap bin and search through them, you can do that. And then the other thing you can do is when you come to the end of a line you've been working with, just take the scrap pieces and kind of work with them the way they already are. So I went ahead and got that big piece of paper. I love this paper, that big floral. The cards I made, not floral, but botanical print. The cards I made used quite a bit of the other side of that, which is a green vine style. So I was happy to be able to use a big chunk of this on this particular layout. So as you can see, I decided to take a smaller piece of that and I just trimmed that in half and I'm adding it to the top of the bottom, top and the bottom. Apparently I'm having trouble speaking of my layout just to bring a bit of the lighter color as well. So now I think I'm going to keep this layout very simple. The only thing I'm going to add is a couple pieces of this wood grain thicker alphabet. So I'm going to do happy together at home. So, and then the only embellishments besides the bronze sequins that came in the kit I'm using are these wood grain leafy pieces that match both with obviously the title, but also with that background piece of paper that is my base layer. So as I said, this is going to be a very, very simple layout. Now this piece of paper here, this came in the kit, um, the card making kit, and all I did was I took my triple banner punch and I trimmed it off, and it's kind of like an oyster colored, but like a darker one and a lighter one, so I'm going to ink that one up as well, and that's going to be for my journaling. I do not journal on screen. I didn't have, this was not a layout I planned. I just thought the picture was really cute when I was looking at it. I was like, you know what, I really just want to make a layout with this picture of Ms. Xanthi. And so what I'm doing is I am nestling the word happy into the T of the word together. And I had to do something else and I came back and now I'm going to go ahead and start gluing down all of these stickers because they are chipboard stickers, so obviously they don't actually stick to the paper. So I've gotten those pretty much all glued down. I'm just adding this third little leafy thing, and that's when I realized, oh, I need to add the word at. So I've actually only glued down happy together. I have not glued down home yet. So I go to these dark gray Hip Kit thickers, style thickers, and I'm going to use those for the word at. I know this is coming out late, as I've mentioned, but do make sure you head on over to Kelly's channel and check out her video if you haven't already. It's very, very cute. So I just wanted to get that plug in before I forget. So I'm going ahead and, as I said, I am going to use this as a journaling block. I am, however, not going to do the journaling. I hadn't planned it. Uh, as I mentioned, when I was making this, it was Thanksgiving, so I had to get over to my aunt and uncle's house for Thanksgiving, and so I just didn't want to take any more time after I did. Now, I hadn't glued down some of those corners, and so I just put some ATG on my finger and then transferred that over to the corners of where that photo was. So I have these bronze sequins, and these are also from Close to My Heart. They are self-adhesive, so yay, and they're actually three different tones of a goldish bronze color. So I start off in the upper right hand side, I use the lightest color, and then over on the left hand side I use the middle color, and then down at the bottom I use the darkest color. Just a little hidden thought that nobody else is going to notice besides me. So here's where I think I'm going to do the journaling, and then I'm realizing, oh no, you know what? You've got to get going. So instead, what we're going to do is add some Heidi Swap Color Shine in the color Tea, which is a lovely, lovely bronze color. I love it when I get to use this one. It's just a pretty color once it's all dry. All right, folks, thank you guys so much for joining me here. Sorry for the super lateness. I forgot to take the thingy off before I did that, but here's some close-ups. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Bye.